Welcome back to the Silver Lining, where it's no filler, no fluff, but we keeps it a buck. And today we're going to be doing part 10 of our diss track tier list. Just a disclaimer, if you haven't been here before, when we do these tier lists, we're not saying that the songs that we're talking about are the greatest diss records of all time. We're just tiering a bunch of random diss records. Um, if you want to see the other ones we did, I will link them in the description below. You might want to check those out because we might reference back to something that we said before. All right. So got my man Kurt in the building. What's going on, brother?
You already know, man. You know, I got the hood on, man. I'm always putting the hood on.
All right. And of course, I got my brother Stan in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? How y'all doing today?
Maintaining, man.
Chilling, man.
All right. So we're gonna start
Yeah.
with Damian Lillard. Rain, rain, go away. So this was a diss record aimed at Shaq. So just some background on this. The way this actually started was Dame was on the Joe Budden podcast, and he was talking about basketball players who rap. And what happened was they brought Shaq up, and Dame said, I think I rap better than Shaq. I've heard Shaq stuff. I think he was viewed as Shaq though. People was like, this is Shaq. It wasn't like Biggie and Shaq. People weren't looking at this like a real rapper. It was just, this is Shaq rapping. So of course it's going to be a big deal. Okay. So I understand what Dame was saying, but I see why Shaq took offense to it. Because I mean, you are kind of like just saying like you're not really a rapper. You're just Shaq rapping, and they don't view you as a rapper.
But that's true, though. That's facts, though.
It is, but I understand how Shaq is going to take it, So Shaq responded with the diss record. He was freestyling over the "What's the Difference" beat, going right at Dame, and then Dame went ahead and responded with this one. Um, so I'm gonna start with Kurt on this one. Where you put "Rain Go Away"?
um, like I said, first of all, Dame, I do agree with what Dame said. He right about that. Like, it was just Shaq rapping. Okay. It wasn't like a whole rapper. Dame is a whole rapper. So Um, as far as this song is concerned, he put Shaq out there, man. Talked about how he be buying Birkin bags and
Mhm,
got carried by Kobe and Flash and like Dame, Dame did the dollar. Dame dollar. He did his dollar shit.
mhm,
Lyrically, lyrically it's very impressive. I'm not gonna say S class,
mhm,
but lyrically, it is very impressive. I'll give it an A for its lyricism. I like the beat. Um, I was impressed with how he attacked them. However, like this came and went.
yeah,
Yo, this came and went. Like it was popping on Monday.
yeah,
By Thursday, we was on to something different. It's just the impact of it. The impact is really what holds it back. But the actual song itself, he did a very good job. I don't want to say master. I don't want to go too far, but this was a very impressive diss track from Dame. Um, but it's just it gotta hit the hood. It gotta hit the hood, man. If it's a diss track, it gotta hit the hood. And when this hit the hood, we was very impressed and we liked it, we loved it, but it didn't smack. So with that being said, I think it's an A class song with like a D class impact. So I'm gonna put it in B. Shout out to Dame Dolly. He did his thing though.
All right, Stan, what do you say?
B tier. It's straight for an NBA nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. And again, look, Dan can rap. So let's get that out the way. Dan can actually rap. He's one of the few NBA niggas that actually can rap. Because there's been a lot of NBA dudes, basketball dudes, athletes have tried to make songs, have tried to rap, and have had varying degrees of success. Um, Kobe, rest in peace, wasn't his thing. Couldn't rap. Don't know why he was doing it. Whatever. He was horrible. AI
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Dame can rap. Like Dame can actually rap. Like Dame actually sounds like an actual artist, and he's made some really good shit. I didn't remember because I did research for this shit, so I did listen to both the tracks that we're going to talk about, Dames and Shaq later on, and I didn't remember what started fucking feud. Don't remember it. Didn't really care to remember it. I just remember the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Dame is dope. Like I said, he's dope, and this record was pretty vicious. I mean, he went after Shaq's basketball career, but again, it wasn't like he was saying nothing that no one else has ever said about Shaq. You know, people who don't like Shaq, and again, we're talking. We have someone on the panel here that has issues with Shaquille O'Neal. Um, I mean, a lot of people have said this shit about Shaq. Oh, Kobe carried him to the rings, and
Yeah.
Flash carried him to his other ring, and he couldn't shoot free throws. Look, it was all fun and it was cool for what it was, but like Kurt said, it had no impact on the culture. You know, I don't even know if many people even knew that these guys had a thing because later on, of course, they appeared on the same track together.
Yeah.
The Shaq and Kobe remix from Ross and Meat. I don't know why I call nigga Memphis Bleak, but but anyway, like so I don't think anybody remembers it. So yeah, there was no impact to it, to the culture. It had no impact. It was just a good diss record. So I
It's a
give it
good
a B for
difference.
I give it a B for effort. Like I said, Dame is dope. He could keep. I don't know if he's still rapping or not, but he's dope. He's a good rapper, and he should keep doing it. You know. But this was just a decent. It was just a good diss record. Nothing more, nothing
Right.
less. I put it in B tier just for that because it was really good and really he's a good rapper. So I give it a B.
He did
No.
mention Kazam, y'all. He did mention
Yeah.
Kazam.
Yeah, yeah. This is dope, man. Because early on, I'm not sure if it's going to continue on this tier list, but I agree with both of you. I will put this in the B tier. I thought it was a solid diss record. I thought he had some really good lines on him. I mean, one of my favorite moments of this song was the rebuttal. Because I'm not going to talk about all the songs in this battle because I don't think we necessarily need to do that.
We don't.
But this song was a response to Shaq's freestyle. And on Shaq's freestyle, he said students always talking like they better than the professor. I'm an expensive Lamborghini. You a barely charged Tesla. It was cool, but Dame flipped that shit. He said, it's a different era. You the past, you the past. You said it yourself. I'm a Tesla. No longer need diesel gas. Kind of like the
Mm.
Cavs ain't really need diesel ass. And even in Miami, you got that on the strength of Flash. Like, oh shit, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And he had some good bars at him. I love the do it for the fam. Ain't no magic, no kazam, ain't no flexing for the gram. I'm for real. I promise you don't want to meddle with me still. All your personality and real
Mm.
characters will get revealed. We could have did a track together, just pass the torch. It's lit. Without your brother, I was busting off the porch. Calling 911, I'm dusting off the porch. Look inside that statue and Staples and find a corpse. Like, god damn. He
Yo,
fried
he
that,
smoked
bro.
Shaq, yo. He
He smoked
smoked
him.
him, bro. He
He
smoked him,
smoked
bro.
he smoked him. Only issue I got with the song, honestly, is I feel like there's a couple bars that like don't hit at all. Like all the money in the world they traded you for penny. And it's like I got the wordplay, but that's not how it was. Like if you're going to use, I'm a
See, he
Magic
hurt.
fan.
He hurt,
Yeah,
Stan.
so it's
He
like
hurt.
It's just that there's that magic, that Orlando fan shit coming out there.
but if you're gonna diss him for the fact that he left Orlando, be like, bruh, you left. You know what I mean? But don't he didn't get traded, you know. So I didn't love that line. But um overall, I thought it was solid. So I'm gonna go B tier as well. I think that Dame did what he was supposed to do. He responded very well. I think he did his thing, man.
Now, I don't have much else
Shout
to
out
add.
to
It
Dame Dollar,
was
man.
yeah. Shout out to Dame. It was good for NBA G rapping, but like I said, it wasn't much impact on the culture.
All right. So now we're gonna do the response. Shaq, second round knockouts. This is the response back to this song. He's rapping over the victory beat. All right. So Stan, I'm gonna start with you. Where you got this one at?
I'm gonna surprise you, and I'm gonna put it in the C tier. Because initially I'm thinking this is probably going into D tier or lower. Because Shaq is just not that good at this stage. There was a period of time where Shaq was actually pretty good. So let's not get it twisted. This dude was on track with the Notorious B.I.G., one the greatest rapper of all time, the greatest lyricist of all time, and he didn't embarrass himself. So he used to be able to rap, but as he got older, it was what it was, and I often wondered if I hear anything from Shaq that's any good now, I wonder who wrote it for him, and that's kind of what I thought with this one. I was like, I wonder who wrote this for him, because I don't think he did. I don't think he wrote this, to
Come
be
on,
honest.
man.
I don't think he wrote it, but again, taking off on the victory thing, I give it a C because Shaq tried really hard on this. Like, he tried really hard to go at Dame, and Dame was just just a much better lyricist than him,
Yes.
and he just came across as an old man trying to. But unlike other old men that I'm sure we're going to talk about on this tier list, he didn't embarrass himself completely. He didn't make an ass of himself, and I give Shaq credit for trying and an A for effort, but that's about as far as I want to go with it. It was about a C. I mean, some of the lines were witty. The takeoff of victory, Biggie, I didn't particularly care for. If you go back to a lot of things we've talked about in certain dish records,
Hmm.
the Eminem 50 whatever
Yeah.
bullshit. I
Yeah.
hated that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Stop riding Pac's dick, niggas. But yeah, it was a C, and that's about as good as I'm gonna go for it. But again, Shaq tried really hard, man. Gotta give him credit, bro. Shout out to Shaq.
All right. I'll
Diesel,
go.
shout out to Diesel, man. He said he won me 3 rings, so
So I'll go second on this one, and I'm gonna be honest, Dan. I agree with you. I'm gonna also put this in the C tier. Um,
Okay.
I'm gonna say this though.
okay.
I actually think that the problem with this song was Shaq's flow was just really choppy at times. It was just really choppy, and he wasn't like riding the beat as he should have. Because I actually think he has some good bars on here. Like it's basic, but it still hits. So he rebutted the Kobe won you them rings, bro. He said that Kobe comment had me grinning 3 times MVP. At least I'm winning. So it's like, all right, you talking about Kobe winning the ring, but I was an MVP of all them series. So what you even talking about? So good. It's simple, but it's an effective rebuttal.
And it's a
Um,
rebuttal. It is a rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
Dame dropped 2 charms because he dropped The Rain Go Away and he dropped another one called I Rest My Case. And he said, I see you drop that second track in a hurry. How you gonna rest the case when I'm the motherfucking judge and the jury? Like, that's dope. I mean, it's simple, but it's a good punchback. Um, I,
Hmm.
I think the best bars in the battle were just delivered in such a choppy way that it messes it up. I'm gonna read this off. If he had laid this down with the right flow, this might be a B tier. This battle might be a tie. When he says, how you rep Oakland, you went to a Catholic school, sitting in church, friendly, casual facility, writing rhymes don't give your ass no street credibility. Okay, I see what you did, yo. I meet us south of Oakland, east of San Francisco. If you were so great, they would have retired your jersey at Weber State, but they didn't because they know you were fake. Like, yo, he getting busy right there. But if you listen to it, it's such choppiness in the flow that it just don't hit the way it should. If he delivered that the way he was supposed to, this shit might be a B tier. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna give Shaq his respect on this one. I'm not biased. If he came with it, I would give him props for it. So I'm gonna give him some props here. C tier for me. Curtin, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it in the C tier. The funny thing is, like, you know how Shaq be thinking he the man and all that. It's just funny because I could just picture him in the studio because the beat that he used is Victory.
Yep.
Like he probably thought, like, I'm gonna lay this shit down and it's gonna kill niggas. Like he probably thought that this was the next ether, bro. He put it on a Victory beat, bro. And he must have thought this was about to be the takeover or something, like,
Yep.
but I know, especially Big Bro Stan, he don't like he don't like the guys outside of rappers doing the diss tracks and all that. But if they are going to do it like this, man. I know these guys aren't like they are rappers. Don't get it twisted. They both have albums and they are rappers and they are legit in their own right. But at the end of the day, they ball players, right? So it's like, eh. But if you're going to battle, if you're going to diss, and you're not like competing for Grammys and things like that every year, this is how you do it, man. You know, this is one of our more awkward battles, two basketball players, but
Mhm.
Jack definitely brought it. But he ain't he don't his flow, yo, is like it
Yeah.
just doesn't snap. Like Dame is in and out of
Yep.
every you know what I mean, every frame. Dame is in and out of it. Then you hear Shaq, it's like "Duh, duh, 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 duh." It's like, bro, what the fuck? Now you might be saying some cool shit, but just how you saying it, bro, it's not correlating. However, he did have bars. He did hold true to the rubric, right? He did have some rebuttals. It's just real basic, and his flow isn't quite right. And he picked the wrong beat. If you're gonna pick the victory beat, bro, you gotta murder that shit. It
Yeah.
has to be lyrical homicide if you're gonna do the victory beat. So I'm gonna disagree with y'all. I'm gonna put it in the C tier where it belongs.
All right. Go ahead and put that in the C tier. And the next one, we got Melle Mel. Everybody get ready for the kickback. Okay. So this was a diss track aimed at Eminem. This actually was a response because Eminem actually threw some bars at him on a song called "The Realist." He threw a couple of bars at him. So just give some background, just so you understand what happened in this battle. Well, if you want to call it a battle, just give some
Not a
background.
battle.
Yeah, it's not a battle, but so what happened was Melle Mel was on Vlad TV, and he had a couple of interviews on there, and Eminem's name came up. And on one of them, he said that Eminem, kind of the typical stuff. Eminem is only getting the press that he gets because he's white. He only gets all the props because he's white. So something that's been said a million times. So nothing really new there. However, I think the thing that probably set him off is that he somehow it got to the point where they asked like if he could beat Eminem in the battle, and he said he could beat Eminem in the battle right now, and he said it would be the easiest thing he's ever done. And so to me, that's where I think is a problem. Like, I don't want to speak for Eminem, but I kind of feel like if Melly Mel had just said, yeah, I mean, Eminem is great, but in a battle, and I'm always gonna bet on myself. Because that's what you should say. That's MC shit. You should say that. But when you throw in the it'd be the easiest thing I ever done, it's like, oh, all right, let's check the temperature on that then. If it's the easiest thing you ever done, right? So I understand, why M, took offense to it. And Eminem, went ahead and fired back at him on that song, The Realist. And he said, shout out to the Furious Five, Grandmaster Flash, but boy, there's someone who really furious, stay out of his path, avoid. And I'll be the last to toy with this juice head whose brain is half destroyed like a meteor hit. There went Melly Mel. We lost his ass to roids, because Melly Mel has always been in great shape. And so this was the kickback set. This is the response. Stan, I'm gonna start with you. What you think about getting ready for the kickback? Where you putting this at?
What's the lowest? What's the lowest tier that we have?
F tier is the lowest.
F tier. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's place that one right into F tier and keep it moving. Yo, I actually remember listening to this shit, and I remember like, yo, this nigga sounds so old, Joe. Like I thought he was gonna call him a jive turkey at one point on the record, man. He just sounds so damn old. It's like, again, here's the thing. We respect the pioneers of this culture, the
Mhm.
people who were the front runners of paving the way for what we have today. Unlike a lot of these kids who don't understand where shit comes from, guys like us, we understand where this shit started, where it came from, and the people who were responsible for jumpstarting hip hop and jumpstarting the culture. and giving platforms and creating the platforms for people to do this and make money off it. So I'm always going to respect guys like Melle Mel and the
Mm-hmm.
Furious Five and Grandmaster Flash and KRS-One and all the people, all the MCs that pioneered this shit.
Yep.
With that being said, some of these guys have to learn their place and understand that as a 60-year-old man that seems like he looks like he's been pumping roids since 1975, you are not in the same category as a rapper as Eminem. You're just
Right.
not. And anybody that says otherwise is either just an idiot or a family member of Melle Mel. You know that he's not in the same class.
Not
What he
even
did
close.
was what he did was what he did. You're one of the pioneers of this shit, and you deserve respect and props for that. But once you and again, Melle Mel has come out of pocket against a lot of rappers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like Eminem's not the first one. He said some dumb shit about Biggie. He said some dumb shit about Pac. He said some dumb shit about Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like Nas was okay. Like nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Nas is okay. Like I just again, some of these guys think they should be at another level and they just aren't. And again, Melle Mel again, props to what he did in the
Yep.
props to him being a legend in his culture.
Yep.
But dude, you stepped out of pocket and then you embarrassed yourself to the point where you actually retracted the record. And we all know how we treat niggas that retract disc records, right? So
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Rest in peace.
That's my rant on Melle Mel. This shit was trash. F tier. What you got to say?
Ready? Say it one more time, yo.
What, getting ready for the kickback? What you say, Kirk? What you got on this one?
I agree with everything Stan said, man. I, it's like the old niggas can rap. Like when you hear KRS one, like you might catch a KRS one on a radio station or just on the clip rapping or something. He be killing shit. It be old school. It be real formatted, and you know how the old school format was rap. It be but they be saying shit like Rakim to this day is still too smooth to lose. You know, he still got that same flow, but that nigga be saying shit. So when I heard Melle Mel was going diss him, I was like, yo, I gotta listen to it because he might actually say some shit. Because a lot of them old niggas is still nice, bro. They still nice. It's just that nobody's checking for them. You know what I mean? Like they once was. So I thought this was gonna be an example of like a nigga still nice. Them old niggas still nice, dog. No, that shit was very disappointing. It was very, and I love Melle Mel, so I'm not gonna go into. I love Melle Mel and what he did for rap, and like I said, like y'all say, the pioneers, and we always pay homage. So I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but I was very disappointed. So I'm gonna put it in detail though, simply because it's Melle Mel. But if y'all decide to put it in F, I'm cool. I just got a problem with putting a legend in the F tier like that. But it's definitely F tier caliber. You know what I'm saying? But
That's an FT
all
caliber.
the stuff of him being a 60-year-old man still loving hip hop, I'm gonna put it in D tier.
You
We'll
said
go
D.
D.
You
Yeah.
said D here? Nah.
Just out the strength of him being a 60-year-old man that still want to compete, I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put
Well,
it in D. I have no other reason to put it in D besides
Uh,
that.
uh, listen,
that
man.
man said 60-year-old
All,
man trying to compete.
all respect to the great Melle Mel, bro. Like all respect. I mean, without Melle Mel, we're not even doing this video right here.
Fact.
Like respect to Melle Mel, man. But this wasn't it, man. We said pill got you pill Cosby and pill Gates. What pill did homie take to make him hate the great? Like, come on, man. This is a bad song. It's a bad diss record. F tier lyrics. F tier F tier impact. I mean, this thing is made. Everybody was just laughing at him, man. So like, there's no possible way this can go anywhere but the F tier. This is as F tier as it gets, man. Like, there's nothing positive I can take from this song aside from the fact of like, Melle Mel is
It's
still,
Melly Mel.
yeah. But that's I'm not doing that, man. If it's F tier, it's F tier. He didn't. I mean, maybe if he shot the video and gave me some comedy like MC Hammer did when he dissed Jay-Z, maybe that could have helped it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, that MC Hammer song is clearly F tier, but like the video is just so hysterical. It gives it some extra points. Like, so maybe if he had shot the video, maybe that could have helped things. But as this song, this is as F tier as it gets, and yeah, it's got to go there. It just has to. This is gonna be the low tier of the F tier too. Like, this is horrible.
It's like one of the worst.
It's one of
I
the
ain't gonna
worst,
lie,
man.
it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst, and it's sad, bro, because it's Melly Mel, but it's really one of the worst songs we've covered. Like this shit make Bigfoot look like a B tier diss track, bro.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to Jay-Z, Super Ugly. This was the response to Ether. I mean, it's not much to say about Jay and Nas. You know what this was. I did do some research on this song. Just to give some background in case people don't know. So after Ether came out, obviously it was devastation at Rockefeller Records, and I actually listened to an interview. Irv Gotti, rest in peace, Irv Gotti. He was doing an interview on Drink Champs. He was talking about how the song came about because he helped mix it and record it and whatnot. And he said that Jay-Z was always just hanging around his office after Ether came out. And he was saying that Jay-Z ain't the person to like just ask for a favor or whatnot, but he was always just hanging around. And Irv Gotti one day just said, "What's up, bro? Like, what's going on? Like, it's bothering you?" And he said, Jay said, "Yeah, bro, it's bothering me." And he was like, "All right, you want to go get him?" And he was like, "Yeah." So that's how Irv Gotti ended up being the person who kind of chopped this up and put it together. I listened to an interview with Dame Dash, who he was talking about this. He said that he was actually out of town when this whole thing came out. And so he didn't know about it. And then he hears about it. He's picking up the phone like, "Man, what the hell are y'all doing? That shit is trash. Like, why is he doing this?" And then Jay-Z actually did apologize for this song because, if it, went too far and whatnot. And he said Dame Dash was calling the offices like, "Yo, get this guy off the radio. We sounding crazy right now." So just to get some insight of just what this song was when it came out. I guess I'm gonna go first on this, man. This is a tough one to rank, honestly. I actually feel this is a really hard diss track to do just because, like, if we're being real, like that, skeeving your Jeep and left condoms on your baby seat is looked at as an iconic diss. Like, anytime people talk about, when diss records go too far, that's one of the lines people bring up. You know what I mean? Just because of the disrespect of it, and he got some decent cuts on him on there. Some decent lines on there. But what makes it tough for me is that the impact of this song was so bad, bro. Because like I kind of laid out for you, like Jay-Z just sounded so hurt. He sounded so defeated, and and the fact he apologized for it, it was just so much of this song. It's looked at as just a bad moment for Jay-Z, and so it's hard, man, because I think if you listen to it like lyrically, I think it's better than D, but I feel like it's got to go in the D tier, man. And I don't want to do it though because I think it's decent enough. But man, if
Well,
you
well,
could,
let me give you a reason why I see then. How
if
about
you
that?
could, hold on,
If I can convince you.
hold on, one more thing. If you could merge this song with the song Blueprint 2, the I got my mojo back, baby. Remember that joint on Blueprint
Yeah,
2? You could
yeah.
merge the songs together. it might have been a B tier track. You know, I mean, I don't think it still doesn't stop the power of Ether. But maybe it could have been. Maybe it still could have done something, man. But what was you about to say, Kurt?
I was gonna say the reason why it's so bad or it feels like that is because it was the response to Ether.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like Ether was so big, it was so devastating that Jay, like you can't. There's no response to a diss track like that, bro. To
yeah,
Ether, there's no response to Not Like Us. There's no when a certain diss track hit or a certain the fam, like especially when it comes to the hood, because we talk about all the time how we all remember Cannabis diss track, but everybody say LL1, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's sometimes it's just you're gonna lose regardless. Ether hit so hard that Jay probably was going to lose regardless.
yeah,
So when it wasn't, and then it wasn't Takeover. Had
yeah,
it been Takeover caliber or somewhere close, it'd be like okay, like we can work with that. But this was just like yo, I gotta say something. I gotta say something, bro. I gotta say something. And I felt like it was rushed. I felt like Jay. This was the first time Jay got punched in his face like that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, and he couldn't like this was his attempt to swing back, but he was in such an awkward place that he was out of his element. And Jay don't normally harp on niggas.
yeah,
The Jay that I know would have dropped Takeover, Ether dropped, all right, let that shit go. All right, we did that. Like Cam and Jimmy and them, he stomped on them, kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they had the problems with Rough Riders. They did that, kept it moving. This was uncharacteristic for Jay to be digging back in the crates. You understand what I'm saying? Like he went back to it. So it's real uncharacteristic. You could tell he was out his element. But it's a decent song. It's just that it followed up Ether, yo. And I don't like that whining shit. You know what I'm saying? He did seem it was a we always talk about them catnips and shit. Little catnips. We don't do that whining shit. But if this song does not follow up Ether, we would respect it more, man. Because you after that, like, what can you say? What could Jay have said after Ether? Jay had said everything in Takeover, right? What could he
not
say
everything.
after Ether?
Well, not everything, because remember he left that thing open. To you know who? Do you know what you know who? Leave it between me and you. So
Well,
that's a
we all
diss.
knew what that was, though.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, what else could he have said?
yeah.
That was the perfect way to leave that. He should have never said nothing about Shorty again. If it's left at that, we know who did what. Would you know who? Like, come on, bro. Like he should have just left it at that. So it's like for him to be trying to spin the bend back on us, it actually showed. But this is the one time you can say that Jay showed weakness in his career. You know, but even with that being said, bro, it's still a decent track. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would put it in low C, man. I think it's better than D, yo. I really do.
Yeah, I would probably say low C as well. It's tough
Yeah,
because of the impact.
D,
But
that's
Stan,
tough, Reggie. I understand it's J,
yeah,
but D is tough, bro.
Stan, it's on you.
You know, I, s- I actually can remember the first time I heard this record, and I
Yeah.
remember fucking hating it when I first heard it. I hated it for all the reasons that y'all listed. I remember when I actually remember where I was when I heard it. I think I was at work, and I'm like, this is fucking garbage, bro. This nigga sounds like a bitch, man. He sounds like he a spurned lover, yo. That's what he sounded like. And he's still and when I listened to it again, I hadn't listened to Super Ugly in years. Because I fucking hated that song. I fucking hated it. And when I listened to it again for this podcast, it was like it's not bad. He's got some nice lines in it, but he still sounds like a bitch on it. So I mean, he still sounds like he was defeated. And when you're defeated and you're desperately trying to get off the mat, that's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
He sounded like a nigga that just got knocked out. He just took a shot. He leaned against the ropes and he trying to recover. So he doing everything he can to get his ass off the mat. And that's what this was. Ether was, like, as Nas has said before, napalm bomb, had his crew scattered like roaches, all that. Niggas was scattered. It was like niggas was like running around with their heads cut off, like we don't know what to do, looking at Jay, because Jay's the leader of what to do. And Jay himself was defeated. And it was probably the first time in his life, in Sean Carter's life, that I think he felt defeated. And he didn't know how to handle it. So what he do is he went low. He went low and pulled out this bullshit about him and Nas's baby mama. And it was cheap, it was lame, it was corny, it was all those things. And when I listen to it again, while there's some decent lines in there, and I laughed at some of the stuff Jay said on there. You know, the first of all, the homophobic stuff doesn't age very well, and that goes for both rappers. Nas called a nigga
Yeah,
gay Z and shit.
that's
That
both
shit
directions
doesn't,
though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's of its time. Yeah,
Cockefeller Records. That shit
yeah,
doesn't age well, and
yeah.
yeah, the homophobic shit doesn't age well at all. I I will put this in the. I really want to put in a D tier. I really did. I really want to put in a D tier,
Same, bro.
but
Same.
I can't. I can't do it because it's still Hove, and Hove is still Hove on it. But I remember hating it so much back in the day, and when I listen to it again, I didn't hate it as much, but I still fucking hate it. So I'll put in a C tier to be nice today.
Like low C. We might
Low
come. You know
C.
what? This might be one of the ones we listen to. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? We review and say, you know what? That shit is detailed. But it just sounds. I just think. I think. I think it's enough to almost be average.
Again, it's
That's why I
Yeah,
say
fine. It's
low
it's
C.
Hove. Again, it's Hove. I mean, it's fine. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you can count on one hand how many whack Hove verses you can hear.
It's kind of
You
hard
know
to
what I'm
believe that
saying?
this the same nigga that said dig a hole, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
You
yeah.
know, like that's crazy.
yeah. We got
He
to
just
move
sounded
forward, but it's just the
yeah. He
problem I'm
just sound
having, bro, is that if it might be a C tier lyrically, but the impact sure as hell ain't C. So that's what I'm struggling with it. But
Well,
it
damn.
was.
Okay, let's have that discussion for a couple seconds.
okay, I mean
Where would you rank the impact?
F.
F?
No, maybe D because F is J
uh,
Cole. So maybe D impact because F is J Cole impact. You don't get no lower than that, but maybe D
Okay,
impact.
let's just be fair then, because there is no filler, no fluff. We keep it a buck, right? We all are saying that he did just enough in his whole. If it belong in detail though, you gotta put that shit in detail, right?
I think it's D, man. I'm sorry.
If
I think
it's
it's
D is D, we
I
all
think it's
saying the
D.
reason. We all saying like the reason why it can't be detail is because it's Hove and he did just enough. If it's detail, yo, it's detail, bro. We got to be real about it. Stand what you say.
I still gonna keep it in the C tier, just
Okay.
because Jay had he had some funny lines in there, and but
Let's
I
let's
and
say
keep
it's
it in
I
Hove
say
C.
again. I
C.
can't.
I say C. I say low C. That's where I'm at
Yeah,
with it.
Okay.
yeah. I would say it's barely C level because it's Hove, but dog, the song is not great. And the impact of it afterwards is even worse. This nigga apologized for the record.
Yeah, man.
And
It
again,
might be J. Cole level, bro.
y'all niggas have set that precedent. When niggas apologize for diss records, this is how we treat them. But when y'all, I don't feel that's being given to Jay Z as it
It's
was
fair,
given to
man.
Cole.
You're right.
I'm just
No, but
It's a
saying.
Jay Z
it's a little
apologized after
different.
he
It's a
already
little different.
competed. No, it's different. Jay Z
Yeah,
had already competed.
yeah.
J. Cole, we're not about to
No,
do that. He keep on
no.
trying to
Let's
make a
not do it.
technicality for Jermaine, yo. He
No,
keep on trying to make a fucking
let's not do
technicality
that.
for that nigga.
Let's not do it. let's just let's keep
I
moving.
struck a nerve for that one. All right, let's move
No,
on,
let's
bro.
keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We go we gonna keep it in C tier for now, and when we review, I got a feeling this might come down. Honestly, when we go back and look at it, so let's keep it in C tier for now. All right, next we're gonna be doing "They Not Like Us." They Not Like Us. Um, I don't think much introduction is really needed with this. I mean, this is Kendrick's last diss towards Drake and the legendary Drake and Kendrick battle. This was Kendrick's last shot. So I don't think we need much background. Stan, where you putting it at on the tier list?
I had the most difficult time with this one because look, let's get this out the way first of all. It's not the greatest diss record of all time. It's just not.
It's not.
I've seen it listed on a number of lists, and I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. It's not the greatest diss record of all time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not. Just because it's popular right now doesn't make it, or it was recency bias. Again, niggas have recency bias with everything, and I don't. I've been in the hip hop space for almost 25 years, plus 25 plus years of listening to it, breaking it down, discussing it. I am not a prisoner of the moment. So, Not Like Us is not the greatest diss record of all time.
Agreed.
I will. I am going to put it in the B tier for the fact that its impact was far beyond, I think, of any diss record that we've talked about. It's right up there. When you talk about impact and how you talk about how it impacted the battle, Kendrick is unanimously declared the winner because of this record.
Facts.
And no matter what you think about it personally, and I know how Reggie feels about it, look, it slaps. You know what I'm saying? The beat is nice, it's catchy, and Kendrick say funny shit on it about Drake, and it just got tiresome to the point because then I was hearing it everywhere, and then it became parodied. And once you're parodied, it's like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
It just got overplayed.
How yeah.
But if you
Facts.
just listen to it based on what it is, I didn't think it was going to be the hit single, the hit song that it became. I didn't think it was going to be played everywhere in this country at clubs and games and sporting events and niggas dancing. I didn't see that, but that's what happened. So I put it in the B tier for its impact and for it's a bop. It's a bop. I mean, I know some of the lyrics aren't Kendrick's best, obviously, and we don't have to go through all that. It wasn't his best lyrical performance, but it was catchy as shit. The beat was nice. The hook is catchy, and you're gonna remember it for a long, long time. I don't know how many songs from this Drake Kendrick thing outside of Family Matters that you're gonna really remember for years to come. There were better records technically. Kendrick's, Meet the Grams was a better lyrical record than this.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that the record that's going to live on forever as long as this hip hop is going to be Not Like Us. So I put it in the B tier. And y'all have at it. I want to hear what y'all got to say.
Wow. All right, Kurt, what you got?
Man, you tripping, bro. I do think this is not one of I will agree, I'm gonna give you some roses, Stan. I will agree. I don't think this is the top 5 lyrical song in the battle. I don't think this is the greatest hip hop record ever. And if you go by what it actually is, like lyrically, it is a B tier song. If you just go by just the lyrics of it, once he gets to that third verse and he says about the sharecroppers in Atlanta, he related that to Drake. With it gets a little deep there, in that segment.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
other than that, the song is basically him having fun and trolling. Um, this is the victory lap song. Actually, this is the song. Like after I done smoked you, after I killed you, I would take a victory lap and have fun. That's actually what this is, and it just so happens to catch on. The reason I gotta put it in, I'm sorry, Stan, I gotta put it in S tier today, bro. I'm sorry, bro. There's no way. I agree. It is a B class. I agree with you, Stan. It is a B class lyrical, especially if we go by Kendrick Lamar standards for lyricism, right? There's not much there. Like I say, once you get to the sharecroppers and those, you know what I mean? Now with that's the Kendrick Lamar that I know. Those 8 to 12 bars, that's the Kendrick that I know. The rest of that stuff, like I say, it's just a victory lap. Him having fun because he know he smoked you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the impact though, man, like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I don't give a damn if it was the Melle Mel song. If it has this type of impact, bro, it has to be like the impact of this song alone is so dynamic that it has to be S tier, bro. It has to be, bro. Like they singing this in clubs. This man won Grammys for it. Like, bro, in terms of impact, this is the biggest diss song in history in terms of impact. Now, like I say, Stan, I agree with you. We got B plus lyricism at best. Okay. The beat is catchy. The beat is not, it's not even a battle diss track beat. Do I like the beat? Yes. Is it a bop, like you said? Yes. But it's not a diss track beat at all. This nigga Victory Lap song went viral. This wasn't even supposed to hit Drake hard. This was supposed to be us laughing at Drake. And people laughed so hard that he won Grammys for it. So how could, I'm like to say, I know, like, we gauge things differently. Impact might not, you're more of the actual song, I'm the type guy. But I'm more of like the impact of it type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the actual song, I agree, B plus at best. But the impact was so fucking gigantic that it has no choice but to be S tier. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in S, Reg.
Wow. I agree that this is definitely one of the harder ones to tier. Um, Here's the thing that I think that makes it tough. I'm going to surprise you when I say this. I have no problem putting this song in the S tier. I have no problem putting it in the S tier. No problem with it at all. Because this is without question the most impactful diss record in the history of hip hop. Um, there's not many hip hop songs, period, that had this kind of impact, let alone a diss record. This is without question the most impactful diss record of all time. On top of that, this this won the battle. Like, I know that, like we've said before, that you felt like, Meet the Grams is what won the battle. There are others that think Euphoria is what won the battle, but I think that that's incorrect. This won the battle. Like, the reason why people say Kendrick Lamar won the battle is this song. It's not Meet the Grams. It's not Euphoria. It's this one. And
Even though they better songs.
even though they're better songs, this is the reason he won the battle. And I believe that this is the greatest battle in the history of hip hop. I understand you might say Prisoner of the Moment, but I'm sorry, bro.
Greatest battle, like
This is
back
the
and forth
greatest
battle.
battle, back and
Yeah.
forth. We've never seen a battle with this much quality going back and forth ever. So to me, it's the greatest
I don't
battle.
agree with that. I
That's
don't agree
fine,
with that,
but
but that's fine. I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't say I wouldn't call you a dumbass for saying that. So, but I mean, but
yeah,
I personally think Jay Z and Nas, but you know,
that's fair. That's fair. But I just think that with Jay and Nas, it's Takeover versus Ether. Period. With this one, what is it? Like, your favorite Kendrick song might not be my favorite Kendrick song. Your favorite
Mm-hmm.
Drake song might not be my favorite Drake song, right? So like it depends on who you talk to. So it's because there's so much quality going back and forth. So that's why I think it's the greatest battle. And this was the winner. This was the winner. This actually is the home run in the ninth inning that won it. This was the home run, the ninth inning. Now, if you asking me personally, I think it was a foul ball. I don't think it was a home run, but the general public,
Uh,
the general public is the umpire, and they said fair ball. So it is what it is. But this is what won the battle for him. So the Grammys and the Super Bowl and all that shit, all right, yeah, it adds to the impact, but that's some other type shit that we never let the Grammys dictate what's popping in hip hop, and I'm not going to start now. So
No,
props for
but
listening.
I agree, Reg, but a diss track won a Grammy though.
I agree.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying in terms of diss tracks.
yeah,
Like for a diss track to be getting recognized on that level is something
right,
different. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. You're right. You're right. So impact wise, like putting this in the S tier, don't even feel like it's doing it justice. It's like beyond the S tier. It needs its own separate tier for impact. But here's what I'm struggling with though. When we've done, I feel like if I put this song in the S tier, I almost feel like I have to like change everything we've done almost, because as we've done these diss tracks, I have leaned more into the song and then the impact along with it. For this song to go in the S tier, we must either be saying that impact is the bigger piece of the pie or equal. And for me, I don't even think it has to be a bigger piece of the pie, because I'm sorry, bro. Like my position has not changed on this song. I don't think it's a B tier disc. I think it's a D tier disc, honestly. Like C tier, if I'm being a nice, I might put it in C tier. But I don't like the song. I never liked the song. I don't like the beat. I don't like his lyrics on the song. I think you're corny as hell. I don't, bro. I mean, obviously, I give him props for the A minor. A minor is going to go down as one of the most iconic disses ever, no doubt
Yeah.
about it. It is, and I did like it. It made me laugh first time I heard it. It's definitely played out now, but yeah, when I first heard it, it was great.
Hey,
The
Drake.
last verse on the song is good. The content of the last verse to me was good. I still don't like the way he delivered the shit. It still is basic as hell. The content of it, phenomenal. I love the angle he took. But even then, I still just don't feel like he sounds so damn goofy that I can't even take what he's saying, which is some real shit. Seriously, he sounds like a goof on it. So I can't even hardly take what he's saying seriously. But that's gonna be my question before I even put it on a tier list, is that are we now saying that we are gauging impact the same or more than the song? Kurt, I'm gonna start with you.
Well, this is how I feel about this. Like you say, this song is strange, right? Because like if the impact is this big, then we have to. We have to. Like none of listen, bro. You can take the impact of you could take five S tier songs and put them together and not have the impact of this song.
I agree.
If the song is going to have this level of impact, you know how we are. We all look, like I say, Stan plays until you and Stan, y'all play into the song more. I play more into like the impact and what moves, what it's going through more. But it's always a healthy balance. It's never no more than 60-40. You understand? It's always balanced, as close as we could get to balance. Now, once we get balanced, then I start looking at impact and y'all might start looking at the song. But if the impact is going to be yo, I don't think no other diss track in history will have this impact. I
Yeah.
feel like in this situation, we have to, the impact does outweigh the song in this situation because the impact was that big. How can the first diss track to ever be performed on the Super Bowl? The first diss track that does count. I know we don't like when we talk about an artist's career and who's top 5 artists. I don't really care about Grammys like that. Okay, but when you say a diss track was so big that it won a Grammy, bro, that means something, bro. That
Yeah.
means something, bro. A
Mhm.
diss track. We're not talking like, no self-conscious. We're not talking about no no club banger.
Mhm.
We're talking about a diss track, bro. Not too long ago, yo, this song was so big, we might get a fucking diss track category in the Grammys next year. This rap. You like this song was that big. So when the impact, that's why I say this song is special. We're just gonna put this song to the side because the impact, there is no, what I'm saying is there is no level of lyricism that he could have gave us that would be as big as the impact. It could be Ether. If Ether made this type of impact, the impact would still outweigh the song. If Takeover had this type of impact, the impact will still outweigh the song because of the impact. So I tell you what, you find me a diss track that ever had this impact, and then we can talk. If you can't, then let's just put this to the side and say, in this situation, the impact was that big.
Yeah, I think you make some great points. Stan, what do you say to that?
I don't know, man. It's like I'm still a was the shit good to me type of person. I'm still always gonna lean towards was the record good? Can you play the record? Do you fuck with the record? Besides it's always gonna come back to what I like as opposed to what the masses like. Again, the masses like a lot of dumb shit out here. So it's always gonna come back to what I like. Because all I care about, my opinion is what I care about. Me. So I'm always gonna lean towards what I like and what I fuck with and what I play, as opposed to, oh my god, everybody likes this song. At the end of the day, we're talking about with tiering disc records based on all of these things: creativity, the opponent, the per beat, the lyrics, the punches, the impact. All those things are playing into how we are judging these records. So yeah, there's some disc records that are out there that are probably really fucking dope, but nobody gives a fuck about it, or nobody's heard it.
Hmm.
So it doesn't have much impact. You can't put it in the same category as second round knockout, takeover, no Vaseline, ether, hit 'em up, whatever. So I get what Kurt's saying, and I agree with what you both have said. From my perspective, the reason why I've rated the song, I put the song in the B tier, is because while it's lyrically not Kendrick's strongest point, it is such a catchy record, and its impact is as big as any disc record. It is a universally, it's a worldwide disc record. People outside this country know about Not Like Us, know about the record. So it's like I said, this was a weird song. It was a weird song to rank because on one hand, it's so played out. It is so you're so tired of it, but at the same time, you have to admit when
Hmm.
it came out, it was a bop.
Yep.
But and its impact has long. It'll be the most memorable thing from this battle. And I think people are prisoner of moments when they call it the greatest disc record of all time. That's a prisoner of moment
That's
comment, so I
tripping.
can't really take it seriously. I
Yeah.
can't take you seriously when you say shit like that because it's like, dog, were you born after 2001? Because you clearly weren't. Before that, because you don't know shit about hip hop. If you think that record is the greatest disc record of all time, I don't even know if I would put it in the top 10.
But I
But
think when people say that, they're talking about the impact of it. I don't, I think that's just what it is. It
Can,
just
can I ask
specifically
y'all a
talking about the
question?
impact.
Can I
Yeah,
ask y'all this one question?
yeah,
uh
Is this not the biggest diss record of all time?
yep.
the nigga performed at the Super Bowl, yeah,
So how can it not be S tier?
like because it
It's
ain't
the
that good,
biggest. Think
bro.
about it. You think about it, it's the biggest diss track of all time. That should automatically make it S tier.
No,
What I'm
don't.
saying is when it's this big, when it impacts the world, Takeover didn't impact the world. Ether didn't impact the world. When it impacts the world, when they saying this shit in China and they making TikToks in Australia, and I get it, social media has a lot to do with that. But at the same time, you have to give it like niggas been dissing each other in the motherfucking 2020s in the social media era. Niggas been battling, going back and forth. But this song was so big for some reason it affected the world. So if it's the biggest, I'm not saying it's the greatest, and I'm not even saying it should be like cream of the crop S tier. I feel like the stamp of S tier was stamped by the world in this situation.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Like they doing this shit in Australia, my nigga. China, Japan, Afghanistan, Africa. It's the biggest diss track of all time. And just simply off of that. Like I said, it could have been Melle Mel whack ass song. But if it had this type of impact in China and Africa and all over the world, then it would automatically get a seat at the table. Even if it can't afford to eat, it gets a seat at the table automatically, strictly off it being the biggest in the history of hip hop.
Stan, what you say to that?
I understand what he's saying, but at the same time, it's I understand, but it's at the same time, bro. I just can't. I'm not gonna sit there and ignore the fact that some of the lyrics in this song are not very good. I'm not gonna ignore the fact this dude says what 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 what. You know, no, I'm not gonna ignore that. You know?
Okay, so you don't you wouldn't put freaky ass nigga a 69 guard in the same table with Ether?
No, I would not.
Not
Again,
lyrically,
again,
not lyrically,
no.
not
Again,
lyrically. Hell
I
no.
understand. I understand what Kurt's saying in terms of how it blew up and the impact it had on the world and culture. I get all that. I do, and I understand why you. I'm not going to sit here and say he's an ass for putting in S tier. I'm not, but I'm going to say I'm not putting in S tier.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not doing it. You know?
So where we
But
meeting
I
at? You
understand.
know we gotta meet. We gotta
Well,
meet somewhere. Where we gonna meet at?
so I want to say one more thing though. Because again, I feel like putting this in the S tier is gonna make us change a bunch of stuff because I hear what you're saying, Kurt, put it aside, but I can't put it aside. We've set a criteria for every single diss track we've done on this tier list. I can't change the rules just because this is the biggest diss record. Like, I mean, are
Okay,
we because like for
that's fair.
example, I got two tracks that I think are comparable. Not this is the biggest diss track ever. Okay, but I'm saying I have two tracks that are similar in terms of them being diss records and impactful records. One would be Dre Day, right, with Dre and Snoop. We put that
Mm-hmm,
song in the B tier, right? So
mm-hmm,
impact wise, that needs to come up. We put
That's
Drake,
true.
we put Drake's back to back in the B tier. Impact wise, that's got to come up, right? If we're talking impact,
That's fair.
and then the last thing I'm gonna say is that one of the criteria that I've had since we've started doing these is that when we talk about the S tier, if there's a dinner party and all the S tier tracks are invited to a party, does the song that we're putting in the S tier feel out of place? And I feel like if Not Like Us is in that dinner party and then No Vaseline walks by, and I'm not talking about Ice Cube, I'm talking about if we could make No Vaseline into a person, and No Vaseline is like, "What's up, man? What you doing here?" And then Not Like Us responds and says, "Oh man, because I performed at the Super Bowl and I had a whole bunch of people in Australia dancing to this song."
He probably beat the
Wop
shit
wop
out
wop
yo.
wop wop.
He
No
probably beat the
Vaseline would be like, if you don't get your corny ass out of this party.
yo. Hey yo, but what if okay, well, so what if they okay, let's say like they did a party, right? And they looking at the and they look outside like, damn, why all these motherfuckers outside the restaurant? Oh, cause not like us out there. Yo, it's 3 billion people out there in the parking lot right now, bro. Hey, yo, tell that nigga not like us to come in here. You don't think that would happen?
No,
Okay.
I think No Vaseline's gonna be like, I don't give a damn how many people dancing to this whack shit. This he don't belong in this party. I'm
Yo,
not
you
saying
picked the
Ice
right
Cube.
one too. I could
Yeah, I'm
really
not
see
saying
no
Ice Cube.
Vaseline saying that.
Exactly. I'm not saying Ice Cube. I'm saying if you could make No Vaseline
Yeah,
into a
yeah,
person, He
Yeah,
was like, man, I don't give a damn how
but it
many
would look
Grammys you got. Don't come up in here with
it would
that
look
whack
like
shit.
Ice Cube, but it would look like Ice Cube
it
though.
would look
I know
like
what you
Ice
Yeah.
mean.
Cube with the Oakland hat and the Jerry curl.
So yeah,
Uh,
for
All right,
that
so look,
reason,
okay, so we saying what? What we saying? It's
A
a C tier disc with an S tier impact
impact.
that
Yeah.
would make it A, right?
Yeah, I'm good with A tier. I'm good with A.
yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it being in the A tier.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm good with it being in A tier.
Yeah, I think A is the proper placement for it, bro. Because I can't I can't change the rules just because it's the biggest diss track. I still have to play by the same rubric we've done since we've started doing these tracks. I can't do that. I can't say it has S tier impact, but it's a C or D level diss track and put it in the S tier. I can't do that, bro. I don't care how big the impact is. Like,
Oh, okay, so this is how I feel. This is how I feel about us putting it in A.
okay,
Now we have to change what an S tier impact is now.
why you say that?
Because if we're saying that Kendrick Lamar had an S tier impact,
You did
okay, how can you
beyond S.
compare that? How okay, so what does that make Ether's impact?
S, but not as much of a S. And a different kind of S.
Ethan
Okay.
had met
Okay,
had to say had
we do say lower S tier, higher S tier.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. We do
like I
say
said,
that low class B, low class, high class C. We do say that.
Ethan might have had the same impact if Ether was released in this time.
Yep.
Again, you have to remember
That's true.
time and era. We're in the social media era where everything if it goes viral, then that's what it is. Back then, shit happened word of mouth. Back then, you didn't hear about Ether or Takeover until a nigga played it for you.
That's true. That's true.
And so again, different time, different place, but
So
again,
are we saying
you have to
we
keep
rate
that in account.
impact? Are you saying a rate impact according to era? Is what you saying? To like what was going on in that era? If it was just newspapers and your face was on 1,000 newspapers, would that be S class because that was the peak of communication at the time?
I think that's
Yeah.
fair because
Yeah.
Okay.
again, you have to keep things in context. The
Yeah.
same way we start talking about NBA dudes and who's this and who's greater and who's that, and it's like, dog, y'all got to keep this shit in perspective based on the era that these people played in, the era they competed in. You
That's
have
fair.
to because things are different now compared to 25 years ago when we was all young niggas. You know what I'm saying? Listening to records on fucking CD players and computers and shit, as opposed to phones. Like you have to look at it that way and be like, yeah, thinking about what it was back then. Think about what happened when Takeover and Ether came out in 2001.
It did
Just
shut
remember
shit
that
down.
time
Yeah.
and remember how it was then. How these
Hmm.
records was all over radio, all over everywhere. Ether became a fucking word and
Yeah.
Yep.
became
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
A
a word,
term.
a term in hip hop culture.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you cannot dispute
It's
that
facts.
part of it. You look at it from there. It's like, yo, that's why Ether is what it is because it spawned a term, several
Yeah.
terms actually. We
Yeah.
started saying Ether and that shit and stand. A pussy, a fake, a stand. You still whoop your ass. You 36 in a karate class. Like that
Yeah. Takeover
impact.
did too, because like people still say you on that Summer Jam screen. So like Takeover had
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. People still
Hell
say that.
yeah.
Yes.
People
Again,
still say that.
again, that's what I'm saying. That's impact.
Yeah.
That's 25 fucking years of impact.
Right.
We'll see what Not Like Us is in 10 years.
Okay, that's fair.
We'll
That's
see.
fair.
We'll
That's
That's
fair.
see.
fair.
But
That is
like
fair.
when we talk about Not Like Us, we're talking about it in the context of today
It's fair.
when it came out and
Hmm.
the impact it had today, now, in current culture. It's different. It's similar levels of impact, but it's different types. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So it's hard to judge because it's
Yeah.
different. So that's how I feel about it. Again, I'm not gonna argue that it doesn't belong in the S class or A tier. I won't argue it. I'm just saying from my personal opinion, I thought it was a B tier record. and that's where I would put it if I was the one, you know. But I understand those that would say it belongs in S tier, and who would say it belongs in A tier or whatever.
I think A
I
is
agree with
fair.
that. I'm not gonna argue it, but for me, it's a B tier record because Kendrick is mad basic on there. Some of the lyrics are really awful. Calling a man a pedophile, again, I'm not a fan of all that.
It's a
I
battle,
get
Sam.
that,
See, that's why I
but it's a
disagree with
Yeah,
battle.
you. It's
but
a
I
it's a
get it.
battle,
battle,
bro.
It's
man. He
I
It's
got
a
to do
know.
that.
battle, yo.
He got to
I
do that.
get it. I get it. It's a battle. I get all that shit. You calling another black man a pedophile. I
That's what
get it.
I'm saying. See,
I
see,
listen.
see.
No,
That's
listen to
see
me.
that.
Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I understand what I understand. It's a fucking battle. I do. Me personally,
Well, that's what it comes down
did
to, right?
that's what it comes down to. My personal opinion.
Right.
I did not care for that shit, but I understand it's a battle. Just like we could, like Jay Z, you know, pulling out the baby mama deal with Nas. It's a battle. All gloves are off, but it's still
Too far.
some bitch shit. It's still some too far shit, just for me. But again, it would be stupid of me to deny that record was catchy. I played it myself. My son knows about it. You know, its impact is undeniable. So you take that into consideration. But for me, the record was what it was. The song was what it was. Kendrick's lyrics were, but again, there's iconic lyrics, iconic moments on it that you can't take away. So I think that putting it in the A tier is fair. I think putting it in B tier is fair. I think putting it in S tier is fair. I just wouldn't put it in S tier. I put it in the B tier, high B tier, probably.
I think belong. I think. As a whole, if we're gonna go by the rubric, and we have to cap off. See, I was thinking. What I was saying is we can't cap off impact for this. But if we're being true to everything, we have to cap off impact because it's a category, right? And it can't overshadow everything else. So if I take a S class impact with a C, maybe B class song, it's A. You see what I'm
And
saying?
that's why I
So
Right.
think that's why I think it belongs.
Yeah.
okay,
So yeah,
I can agree with A.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that.
All right. That was a good one, fellas. All right. Let's move on now to the final song in the tier list, and also the final song in the Drake Kendrick battle. Heart Part 6. Nothing really needed here to talk about it, so let's just get right to it. I'm gonna start with Kurt. Where do you put it at?
It's funny that you got super ugly up there because this is like Drake's super ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like he already knew after Not Like Us took off, like it was like, damn. And I'm not gonna say he's admitting defeat, but he does sounds defeated. I hate to say it, bro, because he was really, I don't want to say that about Drake because he really was competing. He was really fucking competing this entire
Compete.
battle. So I don't want to say he sound defeated, but I think he knew the writing was on the wall. This was like his last, like when it's like 5 seconds left. It's been a great Super Bowl. It's like 5 seconds left. And the chances of this nigga getting a Hail Mary. This was his last heave. Like he was a boxer that went into the 12th round needing a knockout. You know what I'm saying? Because he was down on cards. Like this was his last hoorah, the last opportunity for the Avengers to assemble. You feel what I'm saying? Like this is it. But it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough because to me, the battle was over after Meet the Grams. To me, okay. By the time, like I say to me, like remember Brian Scalabrine used to come on the floor for the Celtics? That was Not Like Us. That was the cigar song. It just so happens that Brian Scalabrine came off the bench and scored 40. You
Uh,
see what I'm saying? But that was the Brian Scalabrine. That was the cigar. This right here was like he knew the writing was on the wall, and it kind of sounds like it. Um, and I hate to say that because he competed so well, man, this whole battle. Even like I say, bar for bar, he out rapped him. But this song was it was already done, man. It was already over, and he was just trying to swing, trying to get his bucket. He was trying to get his bucket.
Uh,
At least he could say, look, I lost, but I dropped 35." You know how niggas be trying to get their buckets, they be get blown out by 20. Like he had to show face. He had to. Um, but to no avail, man. So although he did whine a little bit, and he did cry a little bit, this is still lyrically impressive to a certain degree. So um I'm gonna put it in a low class B, maybe high class C, low class B. Like I say, he still was lyrically impressive. Just it was just how he stood on this particular song. Still impressive though. But yeah, and it has. If we just talk about impact, like nobody wasn't even really trying to hear. It was more like, all right, let's hear what Drake got to say. Okay, y'all heard that shit. Okay, turn that not like us back on. That's what it was. That's really how it felt. So I'm gonna give it a low class B, strictly because it was some very impressive bars on this song. So I'm gonna give it a low class B, high class C. If to be fair and actually give you a grade, I'm gonna say B.
All right. B tier for Kurt. Stan, what do you say?
I would probably say about B tier as well, and it's the same. I have the same opinion that Kurt does. It was basically the equivalent of a nigga dropping 35 in a 30-point blowout. I got my bucket at
Yeah,
the end. I got my buckets in at the end. You know what I'm saying? Padding stats. That's kind of what it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever
yeah.
sports analogy you want to use, nigga throwing for 400 yards and a blowout loss, that kind of shit. You know, Lamar's numbers in the
Joe Burrow,
2019 original game.
Joe
You
Burrow
know,
with the Bengals last year, lead the league in passing and can't make the playoffs and shit.
it's something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, something like that. It was fine, but I didn't give a shit at that point because the battle was already decided for me. It's a nice record though. He got some good shit on it. It's a nice beat. It's dope, but it's about it. You know, it's no impact. It didn't have much of an impact on the battle or people's opinions on who won, who lost. But it was done. At that point, Kendrick was doing his victory lap and all that shit, and Drake was just trying to salvage something. You know, and again, look, Drake shouldn't hang his head down. Any of that stuff. He competed. He fought hard. He did all the things you're supposed to do. Nigga
Yep.
just put out better records, man. At the end of the day, nigga put out a better record. That's all you can say. So I put it in B tier because it is dope, but there was no impact to it, and it didn't affect the battle one way or another. But shout out to Drake for competing. That's pretty much all I can say right now.
Right. He did, man. That
I
motherfucker
mean,
competed, bro.
yeah, that's all you can ask for is nigga to compete.
Yeah. Um, so what I would say is I think the analogy of the down on the scorecards going to the 12th round is a good analogy because I feel like that's practically what this was. And you know that when you're down in scorecards going into the 12th round, you're swinging wildly. And that's kind of what Drake does on this song. He's swinging hard, but he's swinging wild. And when you swing wild,
Hmm.
some of the punches do hit because he got quite a few punches on here that hit, but some of them miss, and some of them miss so bad you actually fall when you swung. You know what I mean? Like that's how bad sometimes you can swing and miss. So that's kind of how I view this song. Another thing that I would say is that I feel like this song actually was a great response to Meet the Grams, but not the greatest response to Not Like Us. I almost feel like Drake should have dropped this and then dropped like a little fun banger behind it to close the battle out, because this song was like, because you listen to Meet the Grams is a dark record, right? It's dark,
Back.
it's over the line, all that stuff. And then so is this one, right? So they're both kind of in that same thing. They're in the dark in the basement, spaghetti stains still on your shirt from the night before. That's pretty much what this song is. But the problem is Kendrick is out partying right now. So you down in the basement with spaghetti stain on your shirt, and Kendrick is out there partying. So like this song just doesn't it wasn't the greatest response to Not Like Us. But
Fact.
I think that I also think that Drake became a prison he became a prisoner of his own rules of the you got to respond fast. You know, the Taylor made freestyle. He did the AI thing. He's getting at Kendrick for where you at, do something. Where you at, do something. So now Drake can't sit in the lab for a week and respond. You got to respond immediately, right? And I think that that was the problem. I feel like if Drake had just taken a minute, like recorded his song, taken a minute, and actually like kind of proofread what you're doing here, and just say, wait a second. If I say I probably shouldn't say if I'm too famous to be a pedo, I shouldn't say that because that doesn't hit. So let me take that out. I shouldn't say this. Maybe this end part where I'm saying that was some good exercise. It sounds like I'm admitting defeat. So let me take that out. You feel what I'm saying? If he had proofread his work here, I think this could have been a really good kind of a mic drop moment, especially when you talk about some of the things that he says in this song. But he just didn't do that. But like you said, Kurt, lyrically, this shit was surgical. Drake was surgical in this shit, bro. He smashed this shit. And whether or not the whole thing about the daughter was true or not, it's a good angle to play in the battle because Kendrick had a whole verse about something that didn't exist. So the question is, where did Kendrick get that information? And Drake's like, okay, you got it from me. Whether it's true or not, it's a good angle to play in a battle. It's like, bruh, you got it because I sent it to you. So you sitting there spitting a whole verse about something that doesn't exist because I did that. It's a good angle to play in the battle. The A minor flip was Drake has some of the greatest flips that I've heard. But that you talk about A minor, y'all niggas need to be sharp and tell the fans who was it. You thought you left D flat, nigga, D major. Like, yeah, that's a good flip. It's a good punchback. It's a
A
good
major
punchback.
punchback.
Nice punchback. But yeah, it's just I just wish he had taken more time with this shit, and I wish he had something to kind of come behind it. But he had the bars are surgical. The beat is nice. It's just there's some swinging and missing on here, and the thing he said about the mother I sober, like I got the angle he was trying to go on it, but he didn't get the angle right. It's it's majorly it's major disrespect. It's disrespect to the highest level. So I'm gonna give it. Had he reworded it, I guess I would give it some props. I still give it some props. I kind of look at it like remember I said in Euphoria when I was like when he got the name wrong to Joel Osteen. I know what he was saying, so it still hit, but maybe it doesn't. It's like a box that punches you in the top of the head where it scores, but it's not really doing no damage. I kind of look at that kind of the same way. You know what I mean? You see how I'm fair? I kind of call it both. I call balls and strikes both ways. I kind of put it in the same kind of vein, but at the same time, it's such a dark place to take the battle. And I get it. At this point, the gloves were off, but like that shit was a little. I think 10 years from now, when hopefully Drake and Kendrick have squashed this, I think the one part that he'll look back on and say, "Damn, I wish I ain't say that," will be the mother I sober flip. I think he'll look back at that and say, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't even have gone there." Talking about a song that really is about passed down black trauma and then make a, you know what I'm saying, take an angle to it. Like I think he will look back and say, "I probably shouldn't have done that." All that being said, I still like this track. I think this is a good response. If we're just talking bars and lyrically, I'll probably put it in the A tier. Like just the way he barred up on this song for sure. But some swings and misses. Um, and impact wasn't great. Now, some of the impact thing I do think is some artificial stuff by the K-bots, but whatever. But I would put this song in the B tier. I think B is where this song deserves to be.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. The only like I said, bro, is like super ugly. It was followed up by something that it followed something that had such a big impact that
Right.
people really don't like. Like when Super Ugly dropped, we was like, bro, you still on that shit? Nah, it's been killed you, bro. You still on that? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so it's kind of like that. Like Drake, all right, yo, let it go, dog. It's done, bro. Like if you ever see like them fights where a nigga be getting his ass whooped on the internet and people like, all right, yo, that's enough. Leave him alone. No. And he still be wanting to fight. No, where you at? Like that, like Drake, leave it alone, bro. You lost. Let it
Yeah.
go. So BTS fan.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quote this real quick before we get out of here. This is some of my favorite rapping in this song. He said, I'm a fucking hit maker, dog, not a peacemaker. Yeah, bullets that I'm stuffing in each chamber. Your ass in extreme danger. Stop buying views and bot comments. You may as well keep a paper. Shit you might need for later. Give a fuck about your streaming data. You can drop 100 more records. I'll see you later. Maybe when you meet your maker. I don't want to fight with a woman beater. It feeds your nature. If you still bumping R. Kelly, you can thank the savior. Said if you deleted his music, then his music is going to a hypocrite. I don't understand how these people praise you. It sounds like you send them commissary when you need some paper. Album dropping soon. No wonder you turn clout chaser instead of doing hard labor. I see you when I see you like Fantasia. And Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor. And when I say I hit you back, it's a lot safer. Like, damn, that's some surgical bars right there, man. Like that's A tier rapping, bro. Like, had he just took some time and put it together, this could have been a mic drop moment. But I think B
Like I
tier.
say, he definitely outbarred Kendrick.
Yeah.
He landed more punches, but Kendrick landed the most powerful punches, man.
I disagree, but we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through. This is a
That's
good one.
another subject.
That's another subject. Till next time.
All right,
All
brother.
right, man.